Dr. Sabrina, I am so excited to celebrate being our own case study. So this episode is called 20 Years of Proof, How to Build a Business That Supports the Life You Want. And I love this because you are the living, breathing proof, and we exemplify this every day at Tap the Potential, that work can really support the life that you want. And I just want to share as we start out, and you don't know this yet, but when we were in our small group coaching yesterday, several of the business owners shared that they are there with us because they want a life.
Yeah.
And it's happening. They're taking time off work during the busiest seasons, and they have office days without interruptions, spending more time with their partners and their children. And it is just fabulous to see these transformations. So as we dig in, I just want to say thank you for this movement that you've created, Workforce Life.
Yeah, Melissa, I am so proud of us and what we have accomplished at Tap the Potential. And it makes my heart so happy when I hear about our clients who come in and, they've been in business 12, 15, sometimes 20 years and just working almost around the clock. And when they're not actually physically working, the mind is always going, right? And focused on work. And I've been able to take what I was trying to figure out for myself in growing a business that would support my life. I've been able to turn it into a system, and you've come in and added to it and made it even more robust. And now we have business owners that start with us that we can guarantee within 12 months, you're going to be able to take a 4-week vacation. And that is just absolutely phenomenal. And it's not just the extra time off that is so compelling, but it's also that we're making your business more profitable while that's happening. So many business owners don't think about having life insurance and saving for college and saving for retirement because you're just trying to get by. And a lot of the clients that come in when they start with us don't even have enough money to pay themselves. And as they're working with us, we get them to the point where they can have all those perks of a corporate lifestyle and have a business that supports their life. So, that's where 25-hour work weeks become possible. So I'm really excited we get to dig in and talk about this today and just really celebrate what's possible now for small business owners that may not have been possible 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's so incredible to see business owners taking time off without guilt. And, our program is very holistic. So we're business strategists, but we're really looking beyond that. We want to make sure that you have a great life outside of your business. So when we're setting business goals, we're also setting personal goals. And one thing that we share with our clients all the time is my friend Jim Shields wrote a book called Family Board Meetings. And so Mother's Day was this past Sunday, and I actually sent him a message and I said, I just want to thank you this Mother's Day because so many of our clients are now taking time individually with their children. And Jim was very appreciative. He said, let me know how I might support you. But I don't think Jim even understood the impact of what this means. So, Dr. Sabrina, can you speak to that? Because I know you implement this into your life as well.
Yes. So we need to get Jim on the podcast. So Jim, if you're listening to this, please come and let us interview you on the Profit by Design podcast. Melissa shared your book, The Family Board Meeting, with me when I was writing the 4-week vacation. And she said, you absolutely must read this book. And we actually I quote the book in the 4-week vacation because one of the things that stood out to me is Jim was talking about attending as an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting or an AA meeting with a friend. And he was watching as people in the meeting were sharing about their addiction and their story. And his observation was that the majority of those who had addictions were children of entrepreneurs. that caught my attention because I had been paying attention to the statistics on divorce for entrepreneurs, depression, suicide. I hadn't really even dug into the impact on the next generation, because us entrepreneurs, when we start businesses, we think we're doing it for our families. We think we are making their lives better by building a business that will leave a legacy to the family, whether it's financially, or passing values down. And to hear that so many children of entrepreneurs struggle with addiction, and as a psychologist, I know how important the childhood years are. Even when our kids are 12 and to 18, where they're acting like they don't need us, they need us. And I know, because I've got kids in this age range right now, and they act like, oh, I don't need you, mom. But they need that quality time with us. And that's what the family board meeting is about. It is about blocking a minimum of a 4-hour period, going away with your child. You go solo with them. So it's a one-on-one time. Your child gets to pick what you do. Phones down, phones off. I do take my phone with me to take pictures, but I'm very intentional. Like if there's a text message on that phone, I swipe past it and I take the photo and I put my phone away. Because it's all about being emotionally present and connecting with our kids. And what I have found from doing this, my kids open up and talk to me, and we have conversations we would never have in the midst of family life, because there's always other family members around, right? Another parent, other children around. And so even though we're connecting and seeing each other every day, and we eat a lot of meals together at night. In spite of our crazy lifestyle, we manage to have sit down dinners. And so you would think some of these things would come up in those contexts, but they don't. They only come up during the one-to-one time because it's a safe place. And doing it consistently is what builds the relationship with your child. So every quarter, just like you would have a board meeting with your leadership team, where we do this every quarter at Tap the Potential. It's at least 4 hours, and we work on our goals for the quarter. It's uninterrupted. We're, really focused on what we're working on. We want to extend the same respect to our children, and the transformation is phenomenal in the relationships that happen. And my daughters remind me, like, if I don't get the next in one-to-one, it's we call it Kylie and mom time, or Karina and mom time. We don't call it family board meetings. It's just, mom time. And if I don't get that scheduled, they let me know. And I had a situation with Kylie where we had hers just a couple weeks ago, and something that Karina needed landed in the middle of it. And I mean, talk about like mom guilt. There's only one of me, and I'm stretched, and so what do I do? So I told Kylie, well, you get an extra board meeting or an extra one-to-one time with me because of that. And she's like, oh, okay. So that's how impactful and how important this is. And building a business that allows that to happen, because we were doing this on a Friday afternoon. Like, most business owners are working on Friday afternoons. They're not out doing something special with their children. And I'm so proud and so amazed that I get to do that.
Absolutely. So I do this on steroids. And Dr. Sabrina, and if you've been a listener for a while, you probably already know this. I have a 30-year-old daughter who happens to be on our team at Tap the Potential. Our non-negotiable is Friday afternoons together. So it's typically 3, sometimes 6 hours, and we do things together every Friday afternoon. We start off by talking about Tap the Potential a little bit, because if we don't do that, then something inevitably is going to pop up during that time. So we get our business out of the way, and then we do fun things like Reiki, or going to the bookstore, or going downtown and visit shops. It's our intentional time together every week. And then I have a 10-year-old stepson And our routine is Saturday afternoons. We have snuggle time because that's the one thing that's most important to him. So we have our uninterrupted bonding time together. And this is a game changer. And the one thing that I want to point out here is we all struggle with time management. And so many business owners come in and they say, how in the world can I work a 25-hour work week?
Mm-hmm.
But when you prioritize those things first and then reverse engineer your calendar and backfill it, and then know if I'm focusing on the 20% of the things that are going to move the needle forward and prioritize and delegate, I will have that time that's most important to me. And these are perfect examples of determining what success looks like for your business.
Yes.
So some business owners may want to work a 4-day work week. Some may want to work the 25-hour work week. Some may just want firm boundaries and have a day where they're not in the office with their team members. So it's important to determine what success looks like for you. And we walk you through that in our program. So that's the first thing that we do when we meet together is I really dig in deep and ask you powerful questions to determine what your business can do to support your life. That's where we start.
Yes. Yeah. And it really comes to that question of what do you want? What does success mean to you? What is your definition of success? And really digging into the day-to-day experience. So sometimes we go for what's superficial and we say, oh, I want to make X amount of money. Well, what's that going to get you? Oh, well, I'm going to feel secure and free and I'll have freedom. And oftentimes we hear our entrepreneurs say it comes back to time. So, even though we think it's about the money, it comes back to, I want to have time for what matters most. And you get to decide what that looks like for you. It's definitely evolved and shifted for me over the years. And I like the 25-hour work week. But I also like being able to take a Friday off. And so it's all about what is it that you want. And you hit the nail on the head, Melissa, when you said, identify what are your highest value activities, your $10,000 an hour activities. And by the way, we have a free training on how to make your time worth $10,000 an hour. And you get the chart of $10,000 an hour activities. You can get that at tapthepotential.com/10K. And I use that chart of $10,000 an hour activities to help me prioritize my time. Melissa and I were saying as we were coming in to do this recording for this episode, we're both kind of sliding in the door and, it's been kind of a hectic, chaotic morning. And as I was sliding in my seat over here for this, I was very aware, like, this is the highest value activity today. And I get to talk with Melissa and I took a deep breath and I got grounded and focused and everything else just kind of goes away. So there's also, but that doesn't come from just like flipping a switch in my head. That's years and years of practice and learning to really identify how the value of being emotionally present with another human being. Mm-hmm. And how to ground myself and do that in the midst of, sometimes some very chaotic circumstances. And when we prioritize our relationships with our family members and that, what you do to take care of yourself and nurture your relationships is more valuable than any business activity. Because when we are not in a good relationship with ourselves and the people who matter most to us, our brain is constantly pulled into those relationship challenges and struggles. So the most valuable thing we can do is take care of ourselves each day and nurture our relationships and work to be intentional, to be fully emotionally present with those who matter most to us.
Absolutely. And, success also is about having the team that you love to work with. When we slid into this call, you shared what you were doing just before I shared what I was doing. And then I looked at you and I said, but I'm with my person now. Mm-hmm. And I this
Yep.
deep breath, and it was like all of a sudden this calmness just flowed through me. And that's because we're completely aligned with our immutable laws. We're completely aligned with the vision for the company, and we work together. We have all of the systems that we need to make that flow. And you and I do spend intentional time together one-on-one.
Mhm.
So those are so important. You touched on something, so I'd like to move into mindset shifts that really make the difference. You touched on the self-care, taking care of yourself first. And we were just talking about this in coaching yesterday. And I feel so blessed. One of our small groups consists of 6 female business owners. That's never happened before. But we're on a call with all women, and self-care came up. And I
Mhm.
heard, I feel too guilty
Mhm.
take care of myself and I don't know what to do. So we established just a 15-minute morning ritual that you could do. And I said, this needs to be the first thing, no matter
Mhm.
what's on your agenda for the day, no matter what you're going through, whether you're in survival mode or not, you have to have that time to breathe, practice gratitude, meditate. And you and I do journaling and morning pages. So those things are very important. And Dr. Sabrina, can you share some other mindset shifts that really have to happen to have a business that supports your life?
Yeah, the guilt that, and it's not just women, men feel this too. Men feel like they should be working round the clock. And if they go play golf on a Friday afternoon, they feel guilty, like somehow they don't deserve it, or they're being entitled and their team is judging them for it. So I think really understanding that when we want to show up and have a successful business, have a good team, have a healthy family, our investment in ourselves to
Mm,
be a good contributing partner on the other end of all of those relationships is the best thing we can do. It's the most valuable thing we can do. And when we don't do that, we should feel guilty. That's when we should feel guilty because we are shortchanging the people around us. When I don't take care of myself, then I'm going to be snapping at my kids. And that's just not okay. And I'm not going to bring the best of my thinking to our clients at Tap the Potential. And they've hired us to be strategists. And, I want Melissa to be taking care of herself so that she can bring the best of her thinking as a strategist to support our clients in the decisions that they're making. So, no matter what you're doing, you have people who are looking to you as a leader to bring your best to the situation. The guilt should come if you are showing up tired, beleaguered, frazzled, stressed, and you're in fight or flight mode. That's when you should feel guilty, not when you have paused and taken 15 minutes. Like that's just a tiny bit, but that's these small steps forward taken in a consistent direction lead to big change over time. And so really pay attention to how you show up better after you take that time for yourself. And when you see how people respond around you, when you see that you can walk into a tense meeting with team members and you're calm and present and you see the rest of the room settle down,
mm,
that's where you know, oh, this investment that I'm making and working on myself, it's paying dividends in relationships around me that matter to me.
absolutely. Let's talk about the biggest lessons that you've learned over the past 20 years.
Well, the biggest lesson is there's no there.
Mm,
So, and I credit Steve Bousquet for that lesson because, here we are. It's 20 years snuck up on me. I have no perfect life schedule. I'm constantly readjusting things, changing my duties at Tap the Potential, and honing and refining what I do. We're constantly honing and refining what our team members do, getting people to work from their strengths. And so it's an ongoing dance. But what has really made a difference is having clarity on having the end in mind. So the end in mind is I want to create a place to work where we love what we do and we get to go to work every day and we get to serve our clients and we have clients that we love working with. And I want to do it in a way that I have the ability to be present for my family and our clients. And I want our team members to have that opportunity too. So I have a real clear vision of what this looks like. I don't always, 90% of the time, I don't know the how. When I create that vision and I revisit it or update it, I can see with clarity the experience I want us to have. But I don't always know the how. And I've had to really get comfortable with trusting that my team will support me in figuring out the how, or the coaches that we're going to work with are going to support us in figuring out the how. And that not knowing exactly, I need to take this step or this step to make it happen, can create some anxiety, but just being comfortable with leaning in and saying, I'm okay with not knowing. I know I have great people around me and we're going to figure this out together. And the other thing that has taken me 20 years to learn, but I fully embrace it now, is that my team has better ideas than me. And just get out of the way and let them share their ideas and collaborate. And usually when there's 3 people in the room and there's discussion and everyone is involved in sharing their idea and perspective, the idea that gets implemented is going to be way better than the first idea that was thrown out, often by the business owner, which usually is the worst idea. But anyway, that's my experience. Melissa, for you, what are some mindset shifts you've experienced? You've been with us a number of years now at Tap the Potential, and you came in very much driven, work hard, you love what you do, and you were thinking about work and coming up with ideas and solutions like nonstop.
Yeah. Trust comes up for me. So in the beginning, we're all filling each other out when we start a new role, right? Because you took the time to have one-to-one meetings with me, our relationship grew. And as your trust in me grew, oh my goodness, I can't even explain the confidence that gave me. So when I first started with Tap the Potential, I would boxer you with all these random ideas. And now, and it's been 5 years now, I just have an idea and I run with it. And it's already put in place a lot of times. Like I've already got the systems built out and everything before I even show it to you. It's because you have stepped back and allowed me to own my area of genius. And that's really serving our clients. This morning I met with one of our business owners twice, and I'm about to see her again in group after this podcast airs. And she said, "Thank you so much for meeting with me." And I said, "This is my pleasure. It's an honor." I open up my calendar every day and I get excited and I say, "Oh, I'm so thrilled that I get to see these certain people." And I feel that way for every client at Tap the Potential, because we are attracting clients who match our immutable laws and we want to serve. So the biggest lessons that I learned, because you trusted me, I learned to trust myself and innovate. I'm a master at innovation. So I'm always innovating in my role. And then I'm always really looking at the things that I'm doing and refining my time and asking for help. Asking for help was a huge area that I had to improve on. So others on our team, specifically Donna, our client concierge, just continue to reinforce, "Melissa, you don't have to do this. I can do this for you." So always looking to support and communicate with other team members and not trying to be, as A players, we try to do it all.
Yes.
So, and that's not wise, because then you are depriving other A players of opportunities to step up and show their genius. So lots of lessons learned along the way. And I feel like we could talk about this for so long, because there's just so many gold nuggets. And if you want to learn more and you're just on the fence and you're not sure whether our program is right for you, go to tapthepotential.com/assessment. And this is going to do a couple of great things for you. One, it's going to open your eyes to where you are in your business. So we ask powerful questions in that assessment that you're not asking yourself, I guarantee you. And then two, it gives you an opportunity to hop on a call with Caitlin. And Caitlin will really walk you through the next step, give you some resources, and discuss with you whether our coaching might be right for you. We're the proof. We've just shared our own case study on this one episode of how you can live the life you want by building the business that you want. And our methods are tried and true. We have the stats to prove it. Go visit our website. Check us out at tapthepotential.com. And, learn from the best. Dr. Sabrina, you are just brilliant. And I celebrate you for 20 years. We're just going to keep celebrating you for the next few weeks. Is there anything that you want to say as we close out?
Yes, I know that it's hard to believe if you're working 50 or 60 hours and you're constantly thinking about the business. It is hard to believe that it's possible to go from that to working a 40-hour work week or a 30 or even a 25-hour work week or taking a 4-week vacation. And what I want to say to you is listen to the Profit by Design episodes, listen to our clients who are sharing their success stories. 94% of our clients at Tap the Potential are achieving our promised result of having more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. And we know with 100% confidence, if you come into our program and you give us 5 hours a week, we can get you to the point where you have the opportunity to take a fully unplugged 4-week vacation in a year's time. So we are 100% confident in our system and what we're teaching you. What you just need to ask yourself is this something I want? And if it's something you want, go take our assessment, start the conversation with Caitlin, and let's help you figure it out because we can get you there.
Incredible. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will see you next time on the Profit by Design podcast.